Coming to you live from the other side of the mirror. This is Optimal Play. I'm Brandon.
I'm Kyle.
Oh, your clown makeup's finally off.
Yeah, it took a little while.
Yeah, that stuff, it's...
Oh, you don't want to see the other side of this cloth. It's
a-
definitely colorful.
It's a process. We finished the Hostage Negotiator Career.
Sure did.
And we just thought we would do a little chat video to kind of debrief from it, go over our thoughts. Kyle, how did you like the Hostage Negotiator Career?
I loved it. I think it's the only way I want to play now.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I think that we probably... So at this point, I was thinking about... This was like a shower thought today. You and I together... So we've been playing this solo game cooperatively because every solo game is better with a friend, you know?
It's true.
And we played through just about all of the negotiators before starting the career. Some of them took multiple tries, and then we played the whole career. Like, I think you and I have played probably between 30 and 40 games of Hostage Negotiator together.
Yeah. So 25, 30, yeah.
Yeah, so my guess, there's other games out there. I don't know if you know this, but they make other games.
We can play other games together, too?
So my guess is it will be a little while before we circle back to more Hostage Negotiator.
I think that's fair.
But that's no fault of Hostage Negotiators. It's that campaign was a banger. I loved it.
Yeah. Twists and turns the whole way.
Yeah. It was really different than anything. You know, here, let me back up. Why don't we recap a little bit, like what it was and what happened?
Sure. Yeah.
Like it was 10 years.
10 years.
Career. It was ostensibly 10 games of Hostage Negotiator. It didn't have to be 10. And then the finale was not a typical.
Nor was the midterm.
Well, that one was still, you were using your conversation cards and stuff.
That's
right?
true. That is true.
Right. But the
There's a longer terror.
really, the finale was like the personal crises and stuff. It was just a sequence of them.
Yeah.
Basically, was the actual.
It was a
thing.
conversation, full of conversation, not just
Yeah.
about my boys this time.
Right. Yeah, so we trained, we rose up through the ranks, we met Sicko in year 5, except we never met him. We were never, he was only ever over a radio or something, right? We were interacting with him while we drove.
I don't even know if we were interacting with him. Because I think the flavor, I should have looked at this before we got on camera, but I think the flavor was really we got a note that our wife was in one of these 3 hideout areas, and we were racing through traffic, and the navigating through traffic was really how we were doing our conversations.
Oh, you think the conversation cards were they were representing the tone and stuff of your racing through the city as opposed to...
I mean, we were spending conversation points to move through the city.
I guess that's true.
So I'm just saying, from knowing what I know now, I don't think we were necessarily on the radio with him.
I guess I thought of the conversation points spending as more okay, can't talk right now, I gotta focus on my driving. Then back to talking.
Potentially. You could have a conversation with him in the car.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very possible. We had one at the end.
And then, 4 more years went by of I guess, just kind of random negotiations from the deck, I guess. And then this final encounter with Sicko, where it turned out, and we did, after filming, I guess, spoilers for the other possible outcomes of the main finale, right? There's also the alternate finales, and we haven't seen those, but is that the story being that you were Sicko all along, and it was kind of you have multiple personality disorder or something like that. That's a through line to all the potential endings, and so that's the note it ends on.
Yeah, and you know what I just in this moment remembered? You know how throughout the years you would always tell stories about your boys?
Oh no!
I think you were secretly forecasting the ending of having all these different lives.
Oh my god! All the boys I was making small talk about were my other personalities.
And that's why in one conversation you'd only talk about your boy who was a crime fighting spider boy or whatever it was. And then in the next year,
no.
you were talking about different boys, and I just thought, he's being playful, he's trying to mislead, but no, this is just your truth being told through your own perception, and I'm appreciative of how that unfolded now.
And I loved the ending. I thought it was super fun. We did, and we're recording this actually on the day that we posted our finale video.
Yeah,
I'll probably post this next Friday just to keep the Friday-ly Friday-ly, is that a word? Yeah, Friday-ly cadence.
Friday-ly cadence. Yep.
Someone commented that, and I don't know if it was just based on the video or whether they had played this themselves, but that they didn't like the ending because they didn't feel like it was like earned. Which did get me kind of thinking, like, that's kind of true. I'd be curious to look back at year 5 and see if there's any other kind of, like, foreshadowing. But it definitely, even though it was a fun twist, I can agree with the criticism that it was, like...
We didn't have those moments through our personal events, through our debts. Like, you're like, man, I just fixed my car. Why is it all banged up? Like,
exactly.
That would be interesting.
Exactly. Yeah, I would have loved if there were a few things along the way that pointed to that just didn't make sense.
Like, just didn't make sense.
Yeah,
you're
and then it all
I
comes
could have
together.
sworn I paid this bill yesterday.
Right.
And I'm not usually forgetful like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was actually last month's bill.
Right.
You've been blacked out.
Yeah, Valerie's into you, and then suddenly she's not.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know why. Or, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it got what would be even cooler, and this might be an insurmountable board game design challenge, but is if it was foreshadowed through the game mechanics even at all. Like, it got me thinking about, did you play BioShock? Mm-hmm. Like, major spoilers for 2007 first-person shooter BioShock. Right?
Yeah, we're talking the original twist, right?
Yes. Yeah. So it uses the game mechanics, the mechanics of being a video game.
Yeah.
To as part of the plot twist in a way that I've never seen anything before then, and I can only think of one or two other games that I think have done it as well. Like Brothers is the name of a game that I think does something different, but I would put it in the same genre.
I was thinking
but anyway,
Stanley Parable, actually.
maybe. But where this character in the game that kind of is giving you your objectives, he's asking you to do things, and he's always and you don't really think anything of it as you go, but he's almost always saying, like, would you kindly do this? Yeah. And then the objective appears on your screen, right? Like, you have an objective in the upper left corner of your screen because it's a video game, and you do the thing that he asks you to kindly do. And then you learn 2/3 of the way through the game that you've been, like, brainwashed and programmed, and you are essentially a slave to this man, and kind of your trigger word is, or your trigger phrase is, would you kindly? And you have no choice but to do what he asks you to do. Which is why, you had no agency. It was a video game objective. You had to do it to proceed in the video game and everything. And I've spent all 15 minutes trying and failing to think of ways that a board game could capture. It doesn't even have to be that twist, but a similar kind of thing where you feel like, whoa, that was like a mindfuck in only a way that a board game could do. Like, I thought that was a mindfuck in only a way that like a movie couldn't do that to you. Couldn't do quite the same thing. And yeah, like this wasn't that.
No. But we did talk about throughout the ending, like the 10 finale cards or whatever it was. It's fine.
I just dripped some seltzer down my shirt. It's fine.
We were talking about how, like, there was some foreshadowing throughout the conversation that's what was going on, where it was like talking about, getting rid of your spouse, and that's what you've always wanted to do, and things like that. So, like, there definitely were some moments before just, like, the last cutscene of this happens. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It
was good throwbacks, but those seeds weren't planted.
No,
I don't think, unless we missed them.
Unless we missed them, but I definitely missed them pretty badly.
And then because there are 2 alternate finales, and they're sold separately through the website, but the cards that trigger them were in the box, so like they were clearly all designed together. Mm-hmm. I'm curious, and I have no idea whether those. It seemed, because we glanced. If you've seen the video, you saw that we like mistakenly glanced at one of them because we didn't realize that we had put a year 10 card in that corresponded to a finale we didn't own.
Yeah.
And it had to do with essentially like a mutiny against the chief, right?
Yeah.
Like challenging her for her power.
Yeah.
Her challenging her authority. So that might just be that the story goes in and ends in a completely unrelated place, and in that one you're not also sicko.
Yeah.
Or if you are, it doesn't matter to that plot beat, right? To where I could see that, oh, okay, if you're writing this to have 3 completely separate endings, you can't foreshadow all of them, or maybe you could, but
Sure.
but you maybe wouldn't have. So
I mean, you can sit down at
maybe
the
that's
chief's
why.
desk in the end, and you have your clown makeup on.
Yeah.
That's fine.
maybe
Then
so.
you realize that you have overthrown probably the good chief, and now you are a tyrant ruling the police station.
That would
A
be
different ending.
That would be a pretty good ending. Yeah. Yeah. Then I mean, maybe the other alternate ending is you as sicko launch a politics career and end up president.
It makes perfect sense to me.
Like more.
And you spray yourself orange and get.
Oh
some...
god. That would actually. Yeah. There's been foreshadowing for that.
Mm-hmm. Coming to a States of United being 2024.
Sure. That was a sentence.
Yep, I'm aware.
So what did you think of like the career overall? I guess I was a little disappointed that we didn't come closer to the 35 deaths mattering. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I feel I don't know.
Like there was a point around year 7, and this is what we do. If you've watched our Arkham card review videos, it's like Steven and I sit here and like love the hell out of that game, but sit there like critiquing the design of these cards and stuff. Like this is so don't take us being critical here as being more negative than positive about the game. I am way more positive. But by like year 7 or so, I was not feeling the stakes anymore. Right, like we had so many victims. Or so many hostages saved, like so few dead that we weren't going to lose on that. And then because the actual win or lose, it's still just like move forward no matter what. Mm-hmm. It like the stakes kind of disappeared. Maybe we're just great or lucky, and so we didn't have. Maybe that's not the typical experience. It is a difficult game.
It is. I'm wondering. I'm wondering if the 35 is really just there to like I'm wondering if the more appropriate way to get the feeling of stakes is to have checkpoints. Like once you lose your first like 10, you go to court over this, like or something like so something that has stakes but isn't like a total pool, because I think you're right. I think you could totally get through the game no problem 35. I think you might be able to lose that. I
could see it. There's a card you read or an envelope you open when you hit 10 deaths, 20 deaths, 30 deaths or something.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that would be. It's funny because that would feel like punishment, but also because seeing content, opening envelopes stuff is so fun that it would also kind of feel like a reward. But still, actually, yeah, I like that idea. It's something so that it's not just this looming potential that you don't even make it to the end.
Because I'm like, you don't want that to be the experience.
True.
That's why I think it was at 35. Other than it was just both the components smashed together.
And I would have to think that if there are people, and yeah, maybe we didn't have a particularly unique experience, and most people don't have much trouble, especially because there were, you couldn't lose hostages in the training exercise. You couldn't lose hostages in year 5. You couldn't lose them
if you went
with one or against
deceivers.
Certain abductors, or at least you couldn't lose very many of them. Mm-hmm. So maybe 35 just actually is plenty.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do imagine that if someone gets to year 8 and loses their 35th hostages, they're probably usually just like, I'm just going to play year 9 and 10 anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Right? That's what I'm saying.
Like, start over.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I don't think it's real. Like, I think it was like.
That's probably what we would have done.
Yeah, 100%. I think it wasn't a well thought out, mechanic, because it doesn't. I guess the best case scenario is you lose about 25 to 35, and you're like, "Ooh, that was close."
Yeah. And I will say though, so we did follow the terror deck building rules, right? Mm-hmm. Where you get to choose some, and there's now the name of the terror card escapes me, but there's some terror cards that just kill a hostage. Right?
Yeah.
And the interesting thing about those, I guess let me finish that thought. I wish we had included those in our deck. And I think that on a future playthrough I would. Because I think if nothing else, we would get a few more deaths just sprinkled in as a result. And then I like how that card actually has a different feel to it, because when we're playing standalone games, Hostage Negotiator, as long as you've saved over half of the hostages, that card is kind of a good thing because it moves you closer to victory.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I like that is framed differently within the career, where it's never a completely good thing because it's one of your 35 deaths. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So in retrospect, I wished we had put that in. But at the time we were building that deck, we were like, we're making a video series here. We don't want to, we don't want to run. We don't want to have 35 deaths at the end of year 7 and have to either end the series or cheat. Right?
True. Yeah.
So at the time, it felt like the right thing to do.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think the feeling of killing for the sake of winning the game always felt really weird in the regular, and the career having this cap on it. It's a good thing. Like I think having penalties. I honestly wish it was what I imagined it being was something like along the events. Like that could be a perfectly fine way. Like, hey, like you have a new opportunity at work, and then it checks how many hostages you lost, and it like purposefully like makes you go down this if you've lost like sorry that like a rich family comes to the police station looking for like the best crack detective to get on the case and it's like your track record isn't quite good enough, you can't get this opportunity. Like I think that would have been an interesting way if they did the personal or career or even the relationship stressor events having to do with that in-game mechanics. I think that's what I missed the most.
For sure. I think the last thing I wanted to touch on was the Tin Man thing in the email.
Oh, yeah.
Was there anything else? I'll end on that. Any other thoughts or conversation topics regarding the campaign itself? What?
I said ha.
Oh.
You said conversation topics.
God
No, I think it was a lot of fun. I think playing it with you was the best way to do it. It was great.
Yeah,
I had a great time. I still was like mulling over. I told my girlfriend like the finale of this campaign that she had no real context in, just because I was so spun up about it.
Yeah. I almost told my husband, but I know better. I knew that the response would be like, I guess you had to be there. Yeah, at this point, I've tried to tell him about enough, Arkham moments and stuff. I know that's going to bounce off of him. But anyway, So our ending, and we did use the little decoder glass, and stop checking your hair in the camera.
It's crazy.
We did use the little decoder glass to look at the other endings out of curiosity, and we saw that only the ending we got had the instruction to email the Tin Man email address.
Yeah,
right?
That was wild.
And so I sent that off this morning. It did not get. What I expected was an auto reply. Did not get one.
Yeah.
So what I actually did was I Googled Hostage Negotiator the Tin Man, and what I found was that there is a quote unquote secret promo card called the Tin Man that is a negotiator card. So those are the ones that you can bring one into into a negotiation that gives you a once per game ability. Mm-hmm. It lets you buy 10 points worth of cards out of turn or during a conversation phase, and then there's some. I feel like there was some downsides.
The stipulation was one of the results had to lead to a hostage.
Oh, you could only buy cards that had to do with deaths. Yeah.
Which is hilarious. The way that you get it is you tell this person to kill themselves, essentially. So it's you're always bartering lives.
Yeah.
That's what the Tin Man is doing. I'm that is pretty awesome.
Yes, I haven't yet confirmed that this is how you get it. I know there's a Board Game Geek page for this promo card where there's people asking how to get it. But also that card, the Board Game Geek page for it is dated 2018, which means it predates the career. So it existed first. It also it doesn't have art. It has a weird black and white. I don't know what AJ, the designer of the game and employee at Van Ryder Games, looks like. I don't know if it's him and it's supposed to be kind of or what. So whatever inside reference, whether the Tin Man is what he goes by in video game, I have no idea really still, and whether the email will end up with either an offer to send it to you or a print and play file for it or no response. I don't know yet, but that's what that seems to be hinting at, is that it's to direct your attention to this secret promo card that you can then
Yeah, it's wild. And
Take advantage of.
I think we did look at, because Van Ryder Games did send us a whole slew of these investigator whatever cards. Negotiator cards. Mm-hmm. That's one. And I don't think we had the Tin Man, right?
No, I don't think so. Yeah. I guess I could double check, but it doesn't
ring a bell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, and I think it would stand out because, like I said, the art style on the card is very different.
And the effect is pretty powerful, I'd say.
Yes.
You're getting 10 conversations cards worth of points. That could be like hostage escorts, because that can kill someone.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so we probably would have chosen it.
Yeah,
I'd have been in there when we got to choose 3.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So that's the update. That's thoughts. Two thumbs up on the Hostage Negotiator Career.
4, if you will.
4 thumbs up. I'm looking forward to playing some Final Girl.
Yeah.
Which I've played a handful of games of and really enjoy. The downside is that it doesn't have a campaign to it, right? Which would be nonsense if it did. At least it wouldn't make sense to be like. The only way that I could think of to string those together and have like you be a character like you are in the career is like you're a horror movie director. Which actually,
so, I mean, like, just
maybe.
take it right out of the meta. Just the end of each game ends with a cut.
Yeah, except if you're it'd be like if you're a director, you don't accidentally have a movie that ends like with your main character dying instead. right. Like that's not how directing movies works. So I don't know, but
who knows?
Yeah,
we'll have to ask Ryan about that. How does directing work?
Reach out to us, Van Ryder. There's many more great ideas for this game.
Yeah, we got them all. Okay, but I have one last question for you.
Do you?
What do we pass back and forth in Final Girl? We're not passing a megaphone.
The like old timey crank camera. Like again, it's like you're almost in the
we're going back to the
movie producer's seats. Like I don't know what because
I guess the megaphone could work if it's one of those director bullhorns.
I mean, because in that one, it's the different. So like the megaphone has always been a reference to. I guess in Hostage Negotiator, I was saying in the career you are a character. Like you are in a standalone game of Hostage Negotiator, also, right? You are a hostage negotiator, but you're very like. It is you. You're sitting in a chair, having a conversation, I guess, or imagining that you're on the second floor of a mall or whatever, yelling down into a riot, whatever it is. Yeah. But still, whereas in Final Girl, you are controlling a character, but she has her own name and face, and she's a meeple on the board. Yeah. It's not you in the same way.
Yeah.
So it's like, what am I? When we take turns running, what are we?
We're just
passing
puppeting the Final Girl around.
The puppet strings. Except there is
the puppet master.
There's a puppeteer killer in that game. So even that feels like too much of a reference to one specific character.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I do know we will play some of it. We will surely make videos of it.
Surely.
I'm guessing it'll go great, and we'll also none of the victims will die. Pretty much just like our Hostage Negotiator career. That's the thing that's
years and years
totally possible in Final Girl. Yeah. So if you've been along with us for this ride, thank you, Kyle.
Thank you.
The only thing you can do to support us if you enjoyed this video and want us to keep making them. I say that like I'm holding you hostage now. Like, I'm not going to make more videos unless you like this video. That's not the case. We already have the cameras.
One way to find out.
Yeah, we're probably doing more videos whether you like this one or not. But if you liked this video, subscribe to the channel. Even dropped us a comment to let us know your thoughts about the campaign and how we could. I'm open to some sort of metagame house rule that puts playing all the Final Girl scenarios in sequence into a campaign, even if it's of our own invention. But I have not come up with anything yet. So drop those ideas in the comments. I'd love to hear it.
I haven't played the game enough to know what that even would mean.
Yeah, I mean, it could be like maybe we play one Final Girl character. As many scenarios as we can until she dies, and then bring in a new Final Girl. Like something like that could at least bring some through line. I don't know.
Trauma.
Yeah, this is not Arkham Horror. She does get trauma.
That's just a side effect of killers be killing.
There's no doubt about that. That's just what happens when you have, when you're a babysitter who has the 6-year-old you're babysitting kidnapped by a poltergeist. It's
I guess that's kind of traumatic.
You don't just go back to school on Monday.
I don't know why that tickled me as much as it did.
All right, well, Kyle's getting delirious, so I'm gonna end this video.
It's all my clown. My clown's coming back out.
Oh God! All right, before Sicko reemerges, we're gonna go. See you soon. Till then, be optimal.